Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home Impodcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam. You're my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, you got game.
Do I? What kind of game?
You used to play some hoops. That's not what I want to talk about. We can't talk about Michael Jordan and basketball all the time.
Let's talk about your tennis game or your football game. How about that? Let's focus on you for a moment.
Too many highlights to go through, not enough time. You said you want to keep this at 45 minutes. So if you want me to talk about my illustrious high school football career, we're going to be here at least 2-3 hours.
No, I want to focus on tennis. Jared told me the other day that we went to a tennis meeting for some reason, but we didn't join the team. Is that possible?
I don't have. I have a tracker on the value of your home, but I don't have a tracker on what you were coming and going and doing in high school. So I don't know.
It seems like you would have been in the meeting with us.
As sort of one of the key cogs in the Davison tennis wheel, I was probably sitting up front, focusing up because I took it seriously instead of you guys who were just using it as a way to experiment and find yourselves.
Oh man, I would have had so much fun with you. I'm sure you're bummed that I didn't try.
Yeah, I wish you would have played high school tennis, but people don't want to hear about that. I think people want to hear first about how you're doing.
I'm doing well. How are you, Adam?
Pretty good. I took a nice long walk/run this morning. The weather is weather's heating up here in Milwaukee. It's about 70 today, so at least for right now, life is good. I got no complaints. None. So, I mean, I definitely have some complaints, but mostly things are pretty good.
Conceivably. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Adam. I'm glad to hear many things. One thing I was glad to hear about the other day, and I didn't know this was coming at all, so it came as a surprise to me. Did you see the Space Force trailer?
I didn't watch it, but I have known that it was coming.
Why didn't you tell me?
I guess I thought it would be something that you maybe just stumbled upon on your own. It's a great.
Maybe you weren't sure if I had Netflix at the moment or not.
I mean, as far as your streaming goes, who even knows? I know you only get Netflix for when you need it. Yeah, Space Force, Steve Carell, Greg Daniels, The Office creator, correct?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the trailer, so what were your thoughts?
It looks fun. Beach Boys, which is a tie-in with the Home Improvement crowd as well. So that's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hiku.
Home Improvement Cinematic Universe.
I didn't know it was coming, and then a lot of big names, interesting concept. I'm always happy to see Steve Carell, so I'll be tuning in at least a little bit.
You remember those Read posters from the libraries growing up?
What posters?
Read, and they had famous people.
Yeah, I do.
I was kind of doing a deep dive on those this morning, sort of for fun. I don't know.
You're right. You do have no complaints.
Got a lot of time on my hands, just kind of scrolling through the Read posters. There's some good ones. I came across a Tim Allen one, and I'm looking at it right now. And I don't know if I should send it to you or just describe it, but
I kind of would like the visual. My eyes are closed, so go ahead.
Okay, all right. So Tim Allen, I'm gonna guess circa 95, 96. He's got like a wild kind of red tie with some,
that's so Tim Allen
shapes on it. Gray shirt tucked in, a little bit of a gut. I think he probably slimmed down a little bit after this, and he's kind of flexing, but holding a copy of a book between his fingers and his bicep. It's quite a pose. And the book is, of course, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, one of Tim Allen's favorites. And it's, they all say read at the top. I'm going to share this on the socials eventually, but I was happy to come across this. Also, I found Bo Jackson, Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson.
What an illustrious crew.
Shaq, Whoopi Goldberg, David Bowie, and a lot of other people. But it's just kind of fun. I wasn't even looking for Tim Allen, Jordan. I just kind of came across it, and
that's how life is now. I feel like you're never looking for Tim Allen, but he's just there.
Or Home Improvement. It's just kind of wild how that's kind of I don't know. I got nothing else to say about that. But I like the poster. I think I might buy it for you. Send it down. I know you got a couple of spare rooms down there.
One is dedicated just to you, so I think I'll put it over the bed.
Is that the one with the mirrors on the ceiling?
Hey, you've requested it, so you know what's in there.
Oh, man. It's funny. I look at this picture of Tim Allen, and then there's also a picture of Rob Schneider with a quote. It's I guess it's I don't know if it's a meme, whatever. Want me to read the quote to you?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a Rob Schneider quote. It's just, I'm on Google Images. Rob Schneider. Much late-night comedy is less about being funny and more about indoctrination by comedic imposition. People aren't really laughing as much as cheering on the rhetoric. It no longer resembles a comedy show. It's like some kind of liberal Klan meeting. Hot take, Rob Schneider.
Yikes. It's a mouthy, there must have been a lot of text on the picture.
It is. It covers up almost the whole picture. Must be Schneider got burned by, Jimmy Kimmel or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but he lost me. And that's not because I don't know how to read.
No. You like Rob Schneider?
Yeah, sometimes, I guess.
All right, what do you like better? Deuce Bigalow, The Animal, or Hot Chick?
I haven't even seen Hot Chick.
You haven't seen Hot Chick? Oh, that's probably the best one of the You've seen The Animal, but not Hot Chick?
I don't think I've seen The Animal either, so I think I've just seen Deuce Bigalow.
Now, what would a guy like you make of Deuce Bigelow?
A waste of my time. That's what
Okay. Do you like Deuce Bigelow or Deuce Bigelow 2, European Gigolo?
I haven't seen the second for the reasons that I just stated before.
Shoot. All right, well.
I like him in The Waterboy. How about that?
Yeah, you're right. Do you like?
He's got to be in one of those parts. He can't be the main star.
Do you like the SNL skit where he's the copy guy, Richmeister?
I do. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. He's good in small doses.
Okay, here's one. The bellhop in Home Alone 2.
Still good.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. Big Daddy. Hip hop and on. That's probably his best.
Yeah, I do love that.
Schneider.
Big Daddy is a very underrated movie, by the way.
It's really good. Yeah.
It is really good. It's emotional. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's
good music. Good music.
Definitely good music.
I love Big Daddy, and I think probably the Sandman loves Big Daddy too. That's where he met his wife.
Oh man, what a film! I think. Oh no, sorry, it was Mr. Deeds talking about Sandler. Turned on the old Fire TV, and they have that on IMDb TV or something.
You have a Fire TV, or you have a Fire Stick?
It's a Toshiba with built-in Fire TV.
Nice, congrats!
It's you don't have to buy the little box. It's great.
I loved Deeds when I was younger, and my dad loved Deeds. I remember going to the theater and my dad being like, "I think that was the funniest movie I've ever seen in my life," and I was like, "I think so too."
I remember at the time seeing I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
Oh man, don't even. Yeah, did you think that was the funniest movie you'd ever seen?
We thought it was the funniest movie, and it's aged perhaps maybe one of the worst
of
any movie.
Yeah, it's pretty bad now. I did see that in the theater and laughed until my stomach hurt. I thought it was so funny. Yeah,
we might have seen it together. Who knows?
No, I know where I saw it. It wasn't
That's
with
how
you.
impactful it was.
I know where I saw it. I remember the seat I was in and what I was wearing.
Oh, that's grand. That is grand.
Deeds. Yeah, probably not that funny now.
Probably better than Pronounce You Chuck and Larry as far as staying power goes.
Culturally, yeah. I mean, okay. All right, well.
You're gonna make it to 50 minutes today, Adam. I know you're worried, but we're well on our way.
Have you seen He Got Game, the movie for which this episode is, I suppose,
spoiler
titled?
alert. Yeah, it is on IMDb as well. If I have seen it, it's been a long time. I just know it's a very important basketball movie that I'm sure I would love. Ray Allen's in it, Denzel in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a classic.
Two of the NBA's finest, Ray Allen and Denzel Washington.
Jesus Shuttlesworth.
Quite a name.
It's a great name.
It's a good
iconic.
name.
Could be.
I've
One of
never
the best
seen it.
sports movies of all time, from what I hear.
Yeah, depends on who you talk to. Whatever happened to Hoosiers,
I did like Hoosiers. Gene, what's his name? Gene Hackman.
Yeah, not Gene Kelly.
I was gonna say Gene.
Hoosiers!
I was gonna say Gene Cady, who is an actual basketball coach from Indiana.
Yeah, no, you mean Bobby Knight.
No, Purdue, man. He's from Purdue. You don't know anything about the Big Ten. You never have, and you never will.
Will Purdue, the Bulls player?
Okay, we're off on the rails.
I'm ready to get into Taylor Got Game. That's why I set you up.
All right. Well, Taylor Got Game, episode 180. Whoa. Written by John Pollock, which this is the what?
Pacino.
This is John's first episode. Did you know that?
What's his last name?
It's Pollack. Pollock?
Yeah, okay.
Either way,
Doesn't matter.
First of 3 episodes in the last season here. 16 writing credits to his name, including the first that he did was Soul Man, so it just makes sense that he would hop back over to Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Did some Spin City. I loved that show growing up. Community, and most recently, some Modern Family.
He's keeping at it.
Yeah, some good credits to his name.
I think he's a hired hand. You bring him in.
He's a mercenary?
Yeah, sort of like the Expendables.
Okay. Aired October 13th, 1998. You already gave away some of the He Got Game trivia. So I guess
Sorry. And a juicy trivia that would have been.
It sure was. What do you got for alternative titles this week? It's definitely not as good as what we had last week.
No, I got 5, though.
All right, you go first.
What? I bet there's one of them that you could almost guess I would have done. I wondered if you would have seen this line or this reference in the episode and known I was going to do it, but I'm gonna let it be a surprise. I'm gonna start with New Couch Who Dis.
Such a strong entry. New Couch Who Dis. Mine first one is Pro No Go.
Good. This is pretty bad. Brad goes to Birmingham. Or Brad goes Birmingham, I guess I wrote.
All right, well, mine is Brad in Britain.
That's better. His World Cup runneth over.
My next one is Soccer versus Scholarship.
How about SAD about the SATs?
My last one was just lifted from something I said a million times. Simon Says Soccer.
All right, this one, here we go. I'm surprised you didn't predict this. Banger, I barely know her. Low-hanging fruit.
All right, do you have one more?
No, that was 5.
Okay, wow. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but,
I felt like mine were pretty good.
Yours were good. I was bringing us down. Last week, we both had good ones.
Yeah. I was thinking...
Is this when you introduced Francis and I bounced?
Oh, Francois. I get my one of my new bits. I was thinking... I guess today. Might have been yesterday.
This is just a rough episode so far, I'm just going to say.
I said I wanted to be long, and I am determined to make it that way.
It's going to be 9 hours.
I was thinking today, which words do you think are repeated most often in Home Improvement titles? Like, for instance, like Al. Like, that's got to be used in a lot of titles. Like,
it was for sure, because I was just thinking about, when I look at these, I look at what the next episode's named, and it's one of those. And I feel like they've done that 3 times.
I know, that's what prompted this thought. And then I mean, I suppose, like, Tool or Toolman's probably also used quite a bit.
Yep.
I'm going to think about compiling sort of a list of the words most used in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to quiz you on it.
Adam, out of the things that we've talked about spending our time doing, maybe that should be lower on the list.
I know, sounds pretty interesting. I also have been thinking about making my own home improvement quiz.
And putting it on a website?
Yeah.
What website? HomeImprovementQuiz.com?
I don't know. Just a quiz website. I don't know. Can you do that? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you can do that. We can make a Kahoot. Everyone could play it live. We could have our fans play it live with us.
Kahoot. We'll think about it. All right. Dining room. Brad's at the table working, homework, studying.
Not for long.
He, I don't know if he's frustrated or he just is done with this piece of paper, but he tries to throw it in the trash and he misses. And then guess what? He likes to pretend that it's his soccer ball. So he's dribbling around and kind of envisioning himself in a triumphant athletic moment, like we all are wont to do as children and I guess 18-year-olds maybe. So he's kicking the ball around.
I still do it today.
You still do it today. I bet you do.
Every time I leave a basketball court, I try to end with a fictional game winner.
Bet you do, Panama Red.
Just a game fucker.
He kicks the trash into the I don't know, something. Yells
wall.
wildly. Yeah, wall. Tim enters as Brad is sort of celebrating, and he thinks, "Oh man, Brad has lost his mind." Find out Brad's...
Just you wait, Tim.
I'm loving these interruptions that she got here. It's good.
This is how we make it longer. I just stop you every time you're gaining momentum.
Just you wait, Tim. Just when Tim thought things couldn't get any more loony. Okay. Brad's studying for the SATs. He's nervous about his math score. His dad's going to tabulate it for him. Guess what? Tim ain't too good at math. Some jokes about like adding zeros. I don't know. But I don't know SAT scores because we took the ACT growing up. But I think Brad got like a 420 on it, which they seem to think is very low. Go ahead and interject right now.
I thought it was 850 was like the max that you can get. For ACTs, it was like a scale of what,
1
35?
to 36 or something. Yeah,
35 or 36. So.
I got a 2, so
it bears out.
Yeah. So if 850 is the high, then like
seems
50%.
We don't know the scale, but yeah, it seems bad.
In any case, yeah, Jill enters, and she's excited about this new couch that she got a while ago, but the boys haven't even noticed, which is hard to believe because it is very, very ugly. Checkered, like...
So ugly.
Like
I
red.
can't believe that she loves it. It looks like it's from, like, the 60s.
Yeah. But which I guess would be... It probably stands out, because when you watch shows like Mad Men or whatever, I'm always like, oh, I love the aesthetic. But, like, I guess if you have your house full of that kind of stuff, it probably doesn't seem as ugly, but in their kind of 90s modernized house, it really stands out. In any case, they didn't notice. I said earlier, Brad got a 420 on his math test. And this is the first I've heard of this, but they're saying you're never going to get into UCLA? Have we heard about the UCLA stuff before?
It was UNC last time we talked, so it seems like either they've just switched over to UCLA for some reason, or there's multiple schools coming to call, which would make sense.
Pretty lofty for Brad. UCLA? I don't know.
As opposed to UNC, or is...
I would bet UNC is probably better academically, but UCLA is no slouch. I don't know why Brad isn't aiming for like a Central Michigan University or something, you know?
He is going lofty. I mean, if you get interest from like a UNC scout, then I think you are interested in the bigger schools in general.
Right.
I would not know at all what that's like.
Well, Jordan, a Division II football coach did talk to me in my senior year, so
I always wondered why you didn't go.
I didn't want to get clobbered.
I don't know, you're a big guy. Go about 6'9", 370 pounds.
Tool time. That's the end of the first scene.
Salute to college. One thing I do like about this episode, they do a good job of incorporating tool time, I feel like. Talking about the colleges and stuff. So
yeah.
We've got a salute to college. Everyone's repping their high school or college that they went to. Tim's got Western on. Your alma mater.
Oh, yeah.
Al's got Washington, and then
I read in the trivia is Karn's alma mater.
Yes, yeah. And I read in the trivia that Heidi is wearing a uniform with a B on the chest relating to John Burroughs High School in Burbank, California, which is where she went. So that's interesting.
I thought it was an A, like the Scarlet Letter. You didn't mention that it opens with Heidi doing a cheerleader routine, and I wrote that some guy watching Home Improvement was like, finally. About time.
Brad is that person.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The man's dorm room. We haven't had a man's something in a while, and eventually we're going to rank all of these, probably on YouTube, maybe on here. But we'll see where this comes in, and right now we've got, trash compactors for laundry removal, which seems stupid and a waste of money, especially since college kids typically do not have a lot of money. all-night study enhancers. They have like oxygen masks that are in airplanes, basically, and some extra lighting to keep
What's
people
that
up late.
for? What's the oxygen for? Is that just brain activity? What is it?
Yeah,
What's
it
this stuff?
keeps you wired, apparently. And then perhaps the strangest of all things is the alarm system that they have.
Yeah.
They have a light, moderate, and stubborn sleeper mode. Light and moderate are what you expect. The stubborn sleeper is perhaps something out of a horror movie.
I was going to say, save it for the Halloween episode.
Yeah, so it's like a guy pushing his face through some plastic thing in the wall. It's very strange. And I guess it would wake you up and maybe give you a heart attack. I'm not sure which. But, Adam, is now the time that we should really reflect on our dorm room experience?
I got a couple notes about this scene, and then I'll do that. I noticed in this scene, Carnman's pretty slim, pretty svelte.
He does look good.
Looks good. Okay, a little bit of a snack. And then also, Tim has like a kind of, I don't know if it's funny or not, but it definitely stood out. The Mexico City burn that he has when he's trying on the oxygen, where he's like, they got like different names for it, and he tries one, and it's like, he starts coughing. It's like, oh, that's the Mexico City blend, I guess because of all the smog. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting commentary for Home Improvement.
Tim is leaning more into the Last Man Standing type
A little
of man.
bit, yeah, which is, I guess, is telling because he's a little more hands-on here at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so dorm experiences. Yeah, definitely. Go
What
ahead.
do you remember? I remember leading up very excited because I got to like buy all this new stuff, new, everything basically for a dorm room for this tiny little space. I roomed with two people from high school that I knew but didn't know really well. You roomed with one person from high school that you knew really well.
Right, yep.
So it was just, there's excitement there going into that experience as well. So it brought me back seeing all this, the bunk bed stuff. Did you have a bunk bed?
Yeah, we had lofted beds, so not bunk beds, but I mean, we could kind of do whatever we wanted with them. So I remember we changed it a couple times throughout the year. But yeah, essentially two lofted beds, kind of in an L in the corner. The dorm years it's a lot of fun when you move in and stuff, and it's
you never want to go back.
It's very difficult. Yeah, I remember, and I don't think I'm speaking out of school here. My roommate and I, who's I was best man in his wedding, so we remained very good friends. Didn't get along so well all the time. It's just difficult in such a small space. Now that also might have been a lot of drinking going on and things like that kind of contributed, but yeah, it was sort of a tumultuous time in the dorms sometimes. But it is fun. It's fun having people on your floor. My floor was kind of a tight knit group. It was a lot of drama. I'll tell you that much, Jordan. You don't even want to know the drama. It was sort of like Melrose Place, I would imagine. Everybody's kind of going around doing whatever. But those are good times, sure. Yeah, I had a good time with the dorms.
It's funny because you just had one roommate, right?
Yeah, but then we shared a bathroom with two other guys.
Okay, so ours was like, you walked in, there was a very, very small, like, common living space and a bathroom for everybody to share. And then there were a short hallway that had two little open rooms. There wasn't doors to these rooms.
Yeah.
And the two people I knew shared the other room, and then I got the other guy who didn't know any of us, and that was a real wild card, I would say.
That guy was unique, for sure.
Yeah, and he was a little bit older, so he wasn't quite, And I'm sure it was hard for him to come into a room where everybody else knew each other.
Yeah, also you guys, a bunch of nerds, probably wanted to live with some cool guys.
Well, unfortunately for him, he was stuck with me. And I had the bottom bunk, he had the top bunk, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
Bunk bed stuff is weird. I would not want to have bunk beds with someone I didn't know, but what are you going to do? I guess you didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I think you had to pay extra or something to get a loft, and we just weren't.
Sounds like
first of all, I would have had to
MSU.
I would have had to convince him probably, and that wasn't.
Yeah,
the
you
road
guys
that
shared
we were
all
going
about
on.
3 words the whole year, so I'm sure that would have doubled that number.
Well, dorm room experience.
Side yard.
Oh yeah.
Brad's doing some soccer drills. He scores on his dad. His dad's kind of playing goalie. We're at the fence, and Wilson's making bangers. Banger, barely know her. From England. He has a former student visiting. Simon owns a big software company.
Yeah. Is this what you used to tell people I did?
You wish.
It's probably what my dad told people I did.
Yeah, he's like a mogul down in Florida. It's crazy.
He's also a philanthropist, Adam. He's not just a rich guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just be a rich guy anymore. You got to be a philanthropist.
No,
you got to at
you
least pretend to be a
definitely
philanthropist.
If you're just a rich guy, you're in a lot of trouble.
If you're just a rich guy and you're not giving some of that away, see you later. Good luck making more money. What's his name? His name is Simon. Jill comes out. They kind of bond. He owns a soccer team. Brad has to go in. Study break is over. Tim, Wilson, Simon all just kind of talking. And Tim invites Simon to Brad's soccer game. Simon is...
affable?
He's very British. I got a bio on this guy. He has a very British name, too. His name is Simon Templeman in real life. I
think that's what they called him in the show.
No, his name is Simon Downing Chubb.
Oh.
Because one of
the
my
Chubbs.
alternative titles was going to be something about getting a chub. Chub for Brad, something.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
Yeah, I just kind of did, though. 108 credits to his name. A lot of video game voiceover work. I know you're a bit of a gamer, so you've probably played games like Blood Omen 2.
Don't act like you didn't play games with me.
You're a gamer. Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, Dragon Age Origins, Mass Effect 2 I feel like I maybe have heard of.
Yeah, it's popular.
But he's also, he's still working. He was in an episode of Ray Donovan a couple years ago, Modern Family, The Odd Couple, House of Lies. So he's had a nice long career. Has Simon incredibly British, and the show likes to really lean in into that. I don't know. It seems like Home Improvement does a lot of British humor, more than a lot of shows.
British humor or like making fun of British people?
Trying to, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not particularly effective.
Effective. Yeah.
I found myself liking Simon, so it didn't work. But he also has a Healy, and so Tim and Simon bond over that, and they're gonna not only go to the soccer game but look at the Healy as well. So
you know it.
How exciting! Post game, we didn't get one of those, different locations where we saw the soccer field or something.
I know. I always want them to do that. They never do.
They will eventually. I remember there being an episode that they do.
Thank God.
Simon, Brad, and Tim come in. Apparently Tim drives like a maniac. Simon thought Brad was great. He enjoyed him. We mentioned that he owns a club, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So Tim and Simon go look at the Healy as Brad has some homework to take care of. It kind of brought me back as well, because I feel like before the ACT, I don't know that I took any extra studying to heart or anything like that. I know they had prep stuff, but yeah. I just remember it being such a big focus. And for Brad here, obviously, SATs are such a big focus. And I'll tell you what, I do not miss that part of my life.
No, it wasn't especially fun. I guess, yeah, the focus for Brad is mostly out of concern, I guess. Like there's a...
Yeah, he's got to keep his grades up to get in these schools. Right. So... But Simon, while Brad's away, I think they go in the garage.
Did they change the Healy?
I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to cars.
It was dark. It was very dark green, and I thought it was red, and had like a British flag top.
Well, if you recall, he wanted to like change the color of some stuff, so maybe he did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a different color car this time around.
It's definitely not Simon's Healy. He did not ship that over. I don't think.
No.
So. Simon says Brad could go play pro in England to Tim, which is apparently a mistake, because then Tim goes in to get a beverage and shares that news with Brad. Kind of a weird end to this scene here where Tim just kind of goes on a British rant for a while.
Boy, Pussy Galore gets a big laugh.
Goldfinger. Yeah. This feels like another one of like Tim has his hands in it and he's just going wild.
Riffing, yeah. It's Simon saying Brad could play pro in England is an interesting thing, because I was under the impression that, it's more competitive over there. Like,
yes, but they also have like way more clubs
okay.
and like a feeder system, like a much more robust feeder system where if you're younger, you can start training with clubs and stuff and, eventually work your way up. So I think...
Look at you, Mr.
I like myself a little bit of Liverpool football. Thank you very much.
Really? Footy, huh?
Thank you very much.
All
so, yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay. All right. Carry on, then.
All right. Well, that's the end of that scene. So we move back at home. Tim is making the famous bangers for Jill. There's some jokes here. I guess I didn't write down about the bangers.
They suck. There's no reason to.
They're not great. Have you ever had bangers and mash?
I don't know. I've been to the UK maybe 3-4 times. I don't know if I have ever had bangers. Food over there is bad. I have no problem saying it.
Just pub food, basically. That's what you're going for.
It just sucks. Yeah, it's just like it's not good. Yeah.
The only time I've had it is like a very American, inauthentic way, where it was at like Harry Potter World.
Bennigan's or something. You're like
no, it was at Harry Potter
Bennigan's.
World where everything is England flavored, basically. So I don't know how authentic that was, but it was fine.
Yeah,
I like a good sausage, so I like a brat. So, but Brad comes in. He doesn't have to study anymore, and you know why? He's skipping college. Yeah. He's gonna be playing for Simon's English team, Birmingham Chubs, right?
That's right.
Jill is taken aback. Brad talks about Tim's excitement and like telling him earlier. And Tim is kind of just confused at everyone's anger at him.
Get a very dramatic commercial break. I'll pick it up. Yeah, so Jill's blaming this on Tim. It's really not fair. We can talk about that at the end. I mean, I think Tim was just kind of excited and sort of proud by the news. I don't think when he said it, he was implying that it would be a good idea for Brad. I was just thinking, I don't know. I feel like Brad would really hate England. I don't know. It's just rainy. You're 18. Just kind of, I don't know. It's very different than Royal Oak or wherever they're at. So I'm not sure it would be a good fit for him. Anyways, but Brad brings up the good point that they let Randy go to Costa Rica. So why can't Brad go to England?
Man, if I'm Brad, I'm going. I mean, we'll talk about this later, but
yeah, sure.
I feel like anytime that you're being offered this opportunity, it's really hard to turn it down. Like, you're not going to see Simon ever again. So
yeah, and let's be honest, I don't know. I feel like Brad's going to end up at a community college anyways. So, why don't you just go over there, see what happens. If it doesn't work out, come back. I don't know, trade school or something. I don't know.
You could also just go to school over there. I don't see why it's such a big deal.
Well, it's a full-time job, Jordan.
I don't know. I don't know about that. But,
really? Tell me more about your feeder systems.
I mean, he might be able to take night classes even if it were. So
is that KNIGHT? Because it's Britain? All right.
That was a better joke than the British jokes that they do.
That was, yeah, I tell you what, man, I don't know. That could be a gun for hire. They're going to pay him £10,000 a year, which I wanted to do the math on.
I looked it up. It's about $8,000.
Okay, that's not livable.
No, which makes me wonder.
It's $8,000 then or now?
It was like $8,000 US. I don't remember if I looked at now or then or whatever.
Right, so maybe now you would say $20,000.
I don't know about that much of an increase, but either way, I wondered if part of this is room and board as well.
It could be.
That's not included. It's hard. It's hard to know. We should ask Simon. Can we get him on the phone?
We should ask Simon. I don't know why we didn't. I can confirm that it is not $20,000. It is $12,668 in today's money. So yeah, that's hard to live off of. But yeah, maybe room and board's included, and then you can kind of make ends meet. But all right. Simon Says, a lot of Simon Says jokes in your
too many.
Your clever alternative title. Brad asked him. He poses kind of an interesting hypothetical where it's like, hey, Dad, if you could have gone and done.
I like the hypothetical though.
If you could have done tool time,
high school to tool time,
immediately after high school, wouldn't you have done it? And Tim really stumbles, and Brad says, "You know what? That's all I needed to hear." Storms off. Jill says, "You should have lied." That's it.
Yeah, I don't love this parenting by Jill in this episode.
Yeah, not so logical. I think one thing that Tim never says in this episode that is kind of funny is didn't he meet Jill in college? So shouldn't that have been kind of his go-to? I had all these great experiences in college, and
he just talks about meeting friends. I feel like
partying and panty raids and stuff. I don't know. I feel like that would have been my go-to, but whatever.
Tim's maybe not the suavest all the time. Yeah. So
he means James Bond, but not so suave. Yeah.
High school straight to tool time. I just like the parallel that's like high school to the pros in basketball or something.
Jordan, if you could have, would you skip college and go to a middle manager SEO job?
Actually, no. So, all right. So later, Wilson's out playing cricket, and we're gonna share a clip.
Good arm, Wilson.
Well, thank you, neighbor. Simon inspired me to dust off my cricket gear. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble controlling my googly.
Maybe you should switch to briefs.
No, Tim, see, the googly is the cricket equivalent of a curveball.
Well, Simon certainly threw a curveball over here the other day. Do you know that he offered Brad a contract to play for his soccer team in England?
Well, Simon said that Brad was a great player, but Simon never said anything about signing him up.
I am sick of what Simon says.
So I take it you and Jill don't want Brad playing in England?
Jill doesn't. I'm not sure. Brad doesn't care. He just wants to go.
Oh, well, I understand their positions, but why are you on the fence?
Well, you know, Brad asked me if I could have skipped college and gone right to tool time, would I have done that? And I couldn't say that I wouldn't have done that.
Ah, and you're afraid if you told Brad to do something that you wouldn't do, you would be a hypocrite.
Exactly.
Oh, Tim, to be offered your dream job at such an early age, that would be so flattering. I think anybody would be tempted.
So do I.
Mm-hmm. You know, for example, when I was young, I had to choose between going to Oxford or becoming a professional mime.
That certainly would have impacted our relationship, wouldn't it?
You know, Tim, if you had been offered tool time when you were 18 years of age, do you think you would have missed anything by not going to college?
Well, of course I would have missed college. It's where I met a lot of my friends, and, there's all sorts of great stuff at college, panty raids, keggers, and chemistry class. They let me work with real stuff.
That's when you blew up the lab.
Allegedly. College is more about expanding my horizons. I learned a lot of stuff.
So there you go. Yeah. You know, it seems to me you can have this talk about college with Brad without being a hypocrite.
What made you decide not to be a mime?
I talked myself out of it.
All right, so Tim comes out with the news pretty quickly here. More of those Simon Says jokes that you heard. And Wilson kind of puts Tim to it. Why are you so on the fence? And he doesn't want to be a hypocrite. Wilson says, as always, Wilson is a man of so many life experiences, and he has one here. He could have gone to Oxford or been a professional mime. Yeah. And Tim, there is a funny joke here where Tim says, that
would have impacted our relationship. Yeah,
that's a good line.
That's probably the best line in the episode. Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah. What would you have missed going to tool time at 18? Friends, parties, expanded horizons. We talked about this just a moment ago, but yeah, it's there's certain things. Even if you don't necessarily learn a lot in school, there's certain experiences that college affords that you're not really going to get anywhere else. I mean, going to England, I guess that would have been a different experience too. That he's not going to get anywhere else. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think it's kind of probably the things you would take away would be sort of similar. It's just like I think college sort of forces you to grow up and learn to get around on your own. And I guess moving to England on your own would also sort of do that same thing. College teaches you like skills and stuff as well, and stuff like that. But I think the big takeaways for me in college were just like maturation, so on.
Critical thinking. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah, sure. You got it. All right.
That's it for Wilson's scene. I don't have anything else, really.
Brad's room. Brad's kind of listening to some pretty tasty tunes, I like the way those taste. Tim comes in. What do my notes mean here? The one thing I'm good at, afraid of being... Oh, I think Brad is, we learn here that Brad is afraid, maybe just intimidated by college. Soccer's the one thing he's good at, and he doesn't want to be humiliated. He asked Tim if Tim is ever, afraid of being humiliated, and he says, "You ever watch Tool Time?" Pretty good line as well. Brad has, he's maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, or afraid that might develop. Tim says, hey, don't ever worry about messing up. You got to face your fears. And Brad pretty quickly comes over to the college.
He's like, all right.
All right, I never thought of it like that. Yeah, I could be a pro or face my fears. All right, I guess I'll face my fears. Tim tries to get Brad excited about college. And, hey, I'll build you a dorm room, which can't really do. I guess he could customize it. And he says, is there anything you'd want in there? And Brad says, Heidi. Heidi
classic.
in a cheerleading outfit.
Classic.
Yeah. Speechless.
I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of if I like this or not, but maybe that's
This
high and
scene
low.
or this episode?
This episode. I was going to talk about how it resolved, but let's finish this episode. Later, Tim and Brad are watching a beauty competition. Just a lot of not great moments, I guess, necessarily. They're just ogling women, basically.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing here. Whatever. Just like real throwaway. I don't know.
Brad's SAT scores came in. He's very nervous.
So
but
we're
he got
like, I'm sorry, I got to pause here. So we're like 6 weeks later here?
I guess.
I mean, those scores don't come in right away. Took a long time.
And they do if you live in Royal Oak.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know. Privilege has its, privileges.
He got a 550 in math, which I guess is good. A mention here of Samantha. He says,
noted that. Still dating a 22-year-old. Very interesting. Or however old she is. I don't know.
Brad's going to go tell her. You know, it would have been a real wrinkle telling Samantha that he's moving to England.
Well, then they just break up like they're supposed to anyways. I mean, come on, let's get there already.
I guess so. Tim and Jill speculate on why their kids keep wanting to leave the country. That's the end.
Yeah, Jill says, I hope it's not my cooking. And then Tim says, I think it might be this couch.
Hey.
Did you watch the bloopers?
Yeah, I don't remember what they were, though.
One interesting one is like, okay, so Heidi's doing the,
opening
cheerleading routine. And like, okay, I'm kind of speculating here, but like, she says, what time is it? And like one guy in the audience says tool time. And I'm guessing that maybe it was an instance where they weren't supposed to say it. But this guy like says it and everybody starts laughing. And then people like start booing him. It was kind of weird.
Why would they boo him?
I don't know. They're mean, I guess.
Jerks.
Roll credits fade to black. Taylor got game, a.k.a. SAD about the SAT. I'll start. Sure, I always throw it to you first. Highs and lows. Castle's Corner. Got my flashers on. Just kind of waiting there, formulating my thoughts.
We're just strolling. You know, we're actually taking the bus because we're in college and we can't have our car on campus.
I could. But
I could after my freshman year.
I got my car at college. I didn't take it the first semester. Second semester, I got it down there.
I think that's what happened to me, too. I don't remember, but...
Nice. Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting.
So, highs. I don't know. I didn't really like this episode a ton. I usually like the Brad-centric eps, but I guess it wasn't really that funny. We mentioned the mime line, but besides that, there aren't a lot of good jokes. I don't like the British humor, and I don't like Home Improvement trying for the British humor. They keep doing this, and I don't know. Someone on the staff is interested in that, but I'm not. I think that the conflict is bigger than the episode sort of allows it to be. I don't buy Brad just sort of being like, oh, well, guess I'm going to face my fears. I think this could have been a two-part episode.
Cliffhanger.
Home Improvement doesn't do that really very much, but I think sometimes they should because this definitely needed more time. I think Brad should have gone to Britain, definitely. I think it makes sense after you graduate high school, go do that. Shake those trees, see what comes out. But he didn't, and like I said, I didn't really buy what happened here in terms of the conclusion. Just kind of wraps up nicely. Couch stuff. Is that the B plot? I don't know. Not very good. There really isn't a B plot. Simon is fine. The fence is fine. I think the man's dorm, I like it when they do that, though what they had in it wasn't really very good. I don't know. I just kind of I guess those jokes were just kind of flat for me. So yeah, for me, I didn't really like it too much. Cops are going
to take you away because they don't like your review of the episode.
They said too rambling.
Yeah, I feel very similar. I think the biggest problem with this episode is I thought actually going to Britain would have been the way that Brad's character probably should have ended up.
Yeah.
So It seemed like a natural end, especially knowing that this was going to be the last season.
But then you just got friggin' Mark.
Well, no, I don't. I think he could have finished out high school,
Okay.
like this, and he would have been there. And then maybe you still have to deal with like the injury and stuff that's going to happen or whatever. But I just feel like this is where his character should have gone in the first place.
I buy that.
Yeah, so that's always hard. I feel like it's when you make a choice for a character that isn't believable, you're running a risk. So I didn't like that. Yeah, the couch stuff not very funny. No Mark in this episode at all.
Back
so that's
to back, no
back.
Mark episodes, right?
Yeah, are they going to take him off the credits or what?
It's yeah. It's like in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox movie. Have you seen that?
Nope. Keep going though.
Forget it. Forget it. Who cares?
Who cares indeed. So yeah, I don't know. I actually didn't think it was that bad because I thought it was an interesting story. I just don't like how they
Interesting idea,
logically
but
worked
just,
it out.
Yeah, not executed very well. But
Oh well, John.
this episode
Maybe-
needed some Jeff. Where the hell's Jeff?
Jeff and Carrie are pregnant.
Oh, jeez. Wow. That would be crazy. What if the finale of Home Improvement was just like a pretty regular episode, and the only like big thing they had at the end was that Carrie was pregnant with Jeff's baby?
Man, and it just shut the show down.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Well,
yeah.
that was it for this episode.
That
so.
was it. All right. Well, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, let's move on to social media. Reach out to us on all the normal places. Subscribe to us on YouTube if you have not yet. I don't think we have any new reviews, but we're up to 50 now, so that's exciting.
We hit 50, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're not going to talk about it anymore.
Nah, I'm good. Yeah, and the last one was friggin' zinger too.
Oh wait, we have 51 reviews.
What? I tell you what, man. It's the it's the indifference that makes them come. That's what people used to always say about like, you want girls to like you in high school. Like, just stop being so desperate, Adam.
Yeah, you put your name in there because you only heard that a few times, huh?
Well, I was trying to learn some of your fancy bowling ball tricks and kind of your bebopping and scatting dancing around in high school. But
Well, the real problem was I tried to teach you, but you wouldn't listen.
I loved it when you used to wear that bowler hat to school.
If only girls would have seen what we did on Saturday nights, they would have never came calling.
They didn't really, so that's kind of how that works. Maybe more for you.
You
but-
want to read this review?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. I don't have it pulled up.
Well, I have it.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
So
Is it
this
bad?
one it's a 5 out of 5er.
Man, we're hot.
You're gonna really like this one.
Oh no. Okay. Do people call me an elitist or something?
No, that'd be funny if they give it a 5 out of 5, but they still call you an elitist.
Yeah. The reviews are never that kind to me, which is funny because I feel like I'm kind of the heart and soul of this podcast.
Maybe it's because you always say things like that. You
That's
a-hole.
true. Yeah, I guess you're right.
All right, this is by TJ208. TJ says, this podcast slaps, as the kids like to say. I'm a
Okay.
big fan of Home Improvement and love Jordan and Adam's recaps and fun banter. I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
Oh, shit.
I listened to both Home Improvement podcasts, friggin' grunt work, and like this one a bit better. Arg, 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 arg,
A bit better? I mean, yeah, how about a lot better? He listens to both. I wonder what that's like. I guess people probably do. Well,
Yeah, I mean, everybody likes their perspectives on different stuff. I just don't know that I would be dedicated enough, but
Well,
listen to
hey.
multiple sports podcasts, I guess.
thanks,
So.
TJ. I can't thank you enough. TJ,
Frick.
you slap.
I like how friggin' grunt work is in back-to-back
Friggin'
reviews.
grunt work is kind of the thing.
That's your catchphrase.
I don't know. I got
Inexplicable.
some beef with those guys, but I don't. I guess I shouldn't say it, but it's fine.
Listeners who listen to both shows, do they attack us? That's
I'm
what I
not
wanna
attacking them. I just have some beef. I'm sure it could be worked out, but
know. No, you can't work the beef out.
I mean,
this
yeah.
is an East Coast versus West Coast feud.
they are on the West Coast, so yeah, that is.
Although we're
very apt.
like more Midwest, so.
Oh, semantics, whatever. Well, I tell you what, I
Details.
love it. If we get a freaking Gruntwork 5-star review 3 weeks in a row, that would be crazy. All right, so if you're out there and you like us the same or better than Gruntwork, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review and say friggin' grunt work. Hashtag friggin' grunt work challenge. All proceeds go to coronavirus.
There's going to be no proceeds. What happens if we lose people money?
I'll go to pocket. I got a lot of cash right now. I'm cash heavy.
You're always cash heavy. You're like the Packers with that reserve fund.
I tell you what, your house keeps losing value. You're gonna be staying with me.
You got too many cats.
That's true. Yeah. All right.
What's going on Twitter, Adam?
Couple polls that I didn't do the math right on, so they're still ongoing, but I'll go ahead and call them.
You didn't do the math right?
So, yeah, I usually try to do a thing where it's like I try to sync up the days and hours till like right before the show we record so that we can maximize time without going over. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. But I didn't do that right, so.
Oh, that's all right.
Whatever.
You're forgiven, Adam.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, is All in the Family the horniest episode of Home Improvement? Had to ask. Pretty horny, Jordan.
So horny. Somebody on, I didn't mention this, but somebody on YouTube was really interested to hear what we had to say before that came out. They commented on the sexiest moments video.
Oh, man. Yeah, I bet they were. All right. 14 total votes. 78.6% said yes, 21.4% said no. So, I guess that's the horniest episode.
It's definitive.
And then the other poll, Jeff related, of course. Would you watch a season of The Bachelor with Jeff as The Bachelor? 17 total votes. And I feel bad because this one still has 22 hours left, and I think the tides are changing. If the tides change...
Well, you don't have to report on it.
Well, we
can wait. Give us a preview. What's that right now?
I'll forget, but I will say it now. We'll say it's ongoing. If it changes in a significant way, I'll report back next week. So right now, 58.8% say no, 41.2% say yes. But I'll say that's interesting because only a few days ago, it was like 15% would watch. So...
Wow. So kind of a flood a little bit. That was my favorite tangent I think we went on last week, maybe?
That was pretty good. Entrepreneur, yeah.
So stupid. Any other polls?
No, that's it. Trying to think if there's anything else here. Danny said, oh boy, in response to us covering All in the Family, she said, I'm so looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this ep. Hope you liked what we had to say. Mother's Day came and went, so I posted a PR pic. People seem to like that. Thanks to all the mothers listening belatedly. A lot of mothers probably listen to this show, I'd imagine. Just yours.
Not yours.
I've noticed on Facebook, I looked on our Facebook the other day, I've noticed how it's really just sort of a vessel for you and your mom to kind of have conversations back and forth.
You should see the private messages that are going on.
Oh, dang, PMs. Other than that, Jordan, I got nothing.
All right, well, that's all we got. Next week, we're covering Al's Fair Lady.
Luck be a tailor tonight. Al's Fair Lady. We haven't really had much Al this season, so...
Yeah, and we know that he gets married soon, so they gotta really ramp it up.
They do need to start to build on that, don't they?
It's funny, Eileen took like 4 seasons, and Trudy's gonna come and go in about 10 episodes.
Come on, Eileen. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't know. If you like Trudy... No. If you like... What's her name?
That was Trudy.
What's the new...
Judy?
Trudy? Is that her name?
Is it Trudy or Judy?
Well, if you like her...
Oh boy.
If you like the performance, you're going to want to listen to our For Richer or Poorer conversation on Patreon. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, other than that, Jordan, yeah, hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Listeners, thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.